This is 1World February webinar that we're doing for our token holders and equity investors. And we're starting. So please confirm that you can see the screen presentation. Somebody from panel?
Confirm.
All right, thank you. Okay, attendees, please note that there is an opportunity to ask a question under the Q&A section. If you click on the menu in your Zoom application, you can ask us a question while we're presenting, and we will answer it towards the end. So agenda for today's call is we will have a quick executive intro about the progress this month in February. Then I'm going to introduce some new 1World team members that joined us recently, which I'm very excited about. Then we'll walk you through the product update. Claudia will talk about the business update and some new customer launches. Anastasia will talk about our social media and PR progress, which is quite significant. And then we'll give you exchanges update. That's the topic we discussed last time, and we made, of course, tremendous progress. Then we have a Q&A session towards the end. So everybody is welcome to ask questions either via this Q&A tab or raise the hand, and we'll take your question verbally. So with this agenda, I'm going to the next slide. You can see the participants of today's call. My name is Alex Fedosiev, and you probably know me. I'm CEO and founder of the company based in California, Bay Area. Dan, who just joined us recently as a head of product management, works in the same office. And he's taking care of all of our token economy planning, implementation, and partner relationships. Leonard Jackson is our US support manager based in North Carolina. And he's taking care of most of the questions and communication over our chats, WhatsApp, and Telegram. Claudia Costarelos works in LA, and she is managing our customer success projects, interacting with publishers, partners, and people involved in our business. And Suraj Sharma, he's supporting our India and Asian deployments. It's pretty late in India, but he also monitoring this call. So these are the folks on the call today, and a few more. And let me go to my CEO summary of our progress in last month, just to give you a big picture first. So the team members addition was very important. Now we have almost all the positions filled in, post ICO, and ready to go wider and bigger in our business deployment. The product releases continue to happen. Every week we have updates on the production server. As a matter of fact, we just did one today. And if you check it out, you will see some very interesting new features. And this agile process continues. So this is our norm. As any other startup in Silicon Valley, we're usually very good in updating our product and releasing new features on a very frequent basis. We launched some new sites that Claudia will walk you through, and we're focusing on the business, blockchain, crypto segment. That's where we see most of the benefits today. And let me just mute everybody for a second. Okay, let me continue. Can you still, hope you can still hear me. Okay, next one is that there's a major business partnership with a company called BitClave that we're developing. And this is important because we're not just one company doing blockchain and decentralized economy. There are quite a few others that are very successful. BitClave finished their ICO last year, and we have integration of product site and some business partnership developing. So we'll talk about that. And on exchanges, I'm really happy with all the energy and intelligence that Dan put into the applications for various exchanges. So we are definitely on track to keep our promise from last webinar to have these exchanges launched in February and March. So that's a big picture. We are definitely on track for business, product, exchanges, and partnerships as we planned during the ICO and post-ICO. Now, in terms of new team members, let me show the slide where you can see who joined our team. So 2 people came from Wichita, Kansas, was our partner company that went through reorganization, and 2 people joined our team literally a few days ago. Bailey Blair as a VP of Operations, BizDev, and Customer Success. She has a tremendous experience dealing with the big US publishers, such as Cox Media, Tribune, Gannett, and others. So I'm very happy to have Bailey on board. Then, as I mentioned, Head of Product Management in Palo Alto. He'll be presenting some of the topics in this presentation. We have Anastasia Westphal, and she's taking care of all marketing and media, including social, that you can see already a big difference in the way it's managed. There's a lot of updates and very strong engagement. Logan Johnson is AdOps manager out of Wichita, Kansas. He brings tremendous experience dealing with the various demand side partners. As you probably know, in the advertising world, it's very important how you cascade or how you configure your advertising solution, both programmatic and direct deals. That requires very peculiar knowledge of these systems, practices, and technology tools. So very happy to see Logan on board. It's not the first time we work with him, actually. Our team working with Logan since last fall, and we already have very good experience launching new publishers together. And last but not the least, Yana Kunitsky out of San Francisco. She's joining us as a senior consultant to advise on some advertising strategy in terms of ad units and how we bring them as a new IAB standard. She's coming with a background of ad tech, and her previous company was sold to Adobe. So very knowledgeable person, and now we need not only tactical execution, but some strategic thinking. So that's what she brings in. Okay, going to the next slide. We will be happy to give you an update on the product side of what's new. So please, I'm transitioning to Dan. Next.
Yes, hello, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining. So as for product updates, we are continuing building our token economy with new features which support it, and it's actually in both. It's on readers side, on brand side, and publisher side. So we have a small updates on each of our customers, and especially last month we've been focusing on our user side. So as you might have already seen on our feed and on widgets where they're deployed with the partners, we have a new modern look of 1World poll widget. It is more modern, and we already got very good feedback both from users or /readers and or publishers as well. Yeah, so here's an example of the updated look. On the right side, you could see, which is more, I'd say this look is more relevant to today's standards and gives us better conversion rates. Okay, as the next one, we updated our feed and added that data points. So our feed now has a new look, as you can see here. And most importantly, it has some quotes from an actual article where this question was asked. So people who are answering the question, they can have some idea or some insight without getting too deep to an article regarding the regarding the question which they are curious or want to participate in. Also, you may see that now we have links back to our publishers on our feed where users can actually click and it's now visible, and they can click and go back to learn more about the article, the publisher, and we bring back the value to them by bringing them more readers from our feed. Also, we've been working on implementing fraud protection, because after we implemented feed and start getting awards for people by participating in our feed, we've seen a very huge spike increase of activity. But unfortunately, these votes were not high quality votes, and people, and most of the people were participating for earning our points instead of actually giving high quality opinion which our community could value. So as you may see, in the past 1.5 months, we had overall over 1.5 million votes, and out of these votes, 700 actually came from more feed, which is pretty amazing. It actually proves that our model to gratify and people for their contribution actually works. But we had to implement some new standards where we actually see and analyze with the speed people actually answering the questions, and pretty much our system on backend identifies if these questions were thoughtful enough or not. If people are answering too fast or they don't take enough of thought, this vote is neither count, neither the user gets reward for that. And despite of this change, we still get pretty good number of votes on our feed, and these votes are now which are recognized by our system as high quality votes. So we're bringing high quality feedback to our community and publishers, and at the same time we have an increase in users participation polls, which is both thanks to the new design and active involvement of gratification model with our points. So this actually gave us conversion ratio improvement, and we have more users registering in 1World system, and pretty much more users register with us, the more value and more demand for 1World token happen on the market. And with the introduction of feature polls, which we recently made an update of, we can actually collect valuable statistical data for research purposes, not only, I would say, engagement for advertisement ads.
All right, thank you, Dan. And folks, you can go online to 1worldonline.com and check it out. We have feed updated, we have some other pages updated. It's looking very good actually with these data points. So we have connection back to the sites that participate in the 1World network and token economy, and it gives benefits both ways. We aggregate polls that asked on different sites in different languages in different countries, and they get traffic back through people clicking on their links. So this is additional value that 1World introduced. So we have engagement increase, we have advertising revenue, and now we have traffic that is very organic, and it brings people to those sites that contributed to the questions. It's almost like a feed, Facebook. When you have your friends sharing articles and you click on them, you come to the same site that they recommended. So 1World now has the same feature. Our feed is connected back to publishers. And now transition to the business update. So let me make sure that Claudia, please take over.
Hello, everyone. I'm in here.
Hey.
Yes, so it's a pleasure to join you all and to be a part of that webinar. So my name is Claudia Costarellas. As Alex mentioned before, I'm taking care of all our publishers, relationships with them. And I've been working with 1World for the past few years, developing partnerships with new websites, taking care of the deployment. And I'm very happy to announce that recently we have launched a few more new websites. So as you can see on your screens, it's Wall Street, Block Crunch, and Token Feed. So the first two ones, so basically Wall Street and Block Crunch, they are very similar websites in nature, since it's like an aggregation of news regarding cryptocurrencies, business, updates, some latest news and updates from the industry. As you can see, our widgets have been deployed on the right-hand side in the website. So basically, they supplement the existing content on their websites, and beautifully, they're beautifully integrated and match the content perfectly. So that's Wall Street.com, as you can see. and in here a block crunch. Actually, we will need maybe 1 or 2 days more to fully integrate our tools into block crunch. I just checked that their team is actively working on deploying our tools, but you can be sure that if not today, tomorrow, everything will be working perfectly over there, and you will see our tools integrated on block crunch as well. So all of those sites are just, aggregated news, just providing some good knowledge to crypto community. And in here we can see Token Feed. Token Feed is cryptocurrency news platform that also aggregates posts from different media sources, and it's very personalized. So I, strongly recommend trying it out. As you can see, also our tools, our widgets with a new design that Dan was talking about, are fully integrated, are up and running. So you can definitely check us out over there. That's another interesting partnership we've been working on recently, Match ICO. So it's a platform for matching the best projects with their investors. Only relevant content, no spam, no ads that interferes with the experience. So definitely worth checking, worth trying. And also, since we are partnering with them, we strongly recommend checking it out and very shortly, checking our tools over there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Claudia. One thing I want to mention that these sites are not just about the nice front end and news aggregation. All of them have really serious depth behind the scenes. As you can imagine, there's a backend analytics on all 3 sites. When they build their content, they also, like for example, wallstreet.com, they track in both stock market and now crypto market, and they build in very nice analytics on the backend. The block crunch essentially position themselves as a big data for ICO companies, and they collecting and profiling information about the companies and linking it to the news feed coming from various sources. Token feed, amazing concept because they build on the news around tokens on the market, and also, of course, a lot of backend intelligence. And Bitclave that created Match ICO, the decentralized search engine, essentially competing with Google, and a blockchain based with incentive for users. So very ambitious company with a very talented team, also local in Silicon Valley. And so this integration will be just the first step, but we're going to be working on a couple of other projects together, which I'm very excited about. And with this transition to our next presenter, Anastasia, who will be covering social media and PR.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to join 1World, and thank you for attending this webinar. As Alex mentioned, I'm taking care of all the marketing, social media, and PR activities. And let me update you about our news. Bitclave and 1World now are strategic partners, and we are going to announce more details in our press release that is coming soon. Also, we have started posting on Medium, and our first post got more than 2,000 claps, and thanks to everyone from our community who supported us. I'm doing constant updates about company news, clients news, partners news, and industry news on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. And we received over 1,500 likes, votes, and retweets. I'm activating a YouTube channel, and I'm going to upload all the webinars that we hosted there, and you can find, you can watch them, you can find all the presentation details there as well. I really appreciate if you could help us to spread the word about 1World and help us to continue to grow by your by your likes, votes, retweets, and comments. Moreover, I'm responsible for event management, both in the US and globally. And here's a list of our confirmed coming events. Some of them are going to take place in Silicon Valley, for example, the next one is going to be this Friday at Plug and Play Ventures, and then is going to pitch. So I will be taking care of recording and then promoting this event to show our community what was happened. Also, we are going to attend some networking events like first annual TechCrunch Winter Networking in San Francisco. Since Alex is going to Moscow next week, he's gonna be speaking at about new technologies in digital marketing and about 1World experience there in Moscow. And also he's gonna be attending an international blockchain summit in Moscow. Then Alex is going to attend the Northwest Angel Capital Expo at Kiritsu Forum, which is going to happen in Seattle. Our company is going to be speaking at attending Global Blockchain Forum in Silicon Valley. And again, this is just a confirmed events that are going to be happening soon, but more events to come. And we will be sharing all the news and updates from this event to generate more interest in 1World to support its adoption.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Anastasia. In addition to this, the situation is so dynamic that we keep getting more and more invitations. Just yesterday, our Japanese investors from DEFTA Partners invited us to be speakers at the big blockchain event in Japan in April. George Hara, who is the head of DEFTA Partners, he's also advisor to Prime Minister of Japan. And some of his other portfolio companies are top blockchain and security experts. For example, Nakamura-san, his other portfolio company, he's advising the Japanese government on everything related to security. So both of us will be speakers at this event. And as you probably know, Japan is super active in cryptocurrency, the #1 in terms of trading, and very innovative country, of course, with all kind of innovation. So this list will continuously growing. And on last seminar, actually yesterday, we had also an organizer of a local Silicon Valley event, John Ritchie of US Angels. So he actually finalized, I think, the date for another event in March where we will be on the panel together with BitClave and some other folks. And there's an initiative to create an expert group for California government that 1World was also invited to participate. So we're going to be doing the same thing that our colleagues are doing in Wyoming and New York by providing some recommendations about regulations and taxation on cryptocurrency, which still remains quite a gray area. And there's a major effort and energy from the community, cryptocurrency and blockchain people, to influence our government, like SEC and as other regulators, to do it in a business-friendly and favorable way, which I think we're making good progress. As you probably noticed, there's a lot of nice announcements, and not just in US, Europeans are now moving fast. The French government just did an amazing step forward. They gathered a community of 82 top experts and organizations, and they took their recommendations. They pretty much moving in crypto and blockchain-friendly way in France, and very similar things are happening around the globe. Of course, Hong Kong, Singapore, very crypto and blockchain friendly, and other countries of the first world that the innovation, right, and support for business are moving in the same direction. So we don't want to be behind, especially in California. So hence this group initiative is happening. And we'll update you in March about probably going to have the first meeting and keep you posted about our progress. And then back then, I would like to cover 1World next focuses briefly on the product side. Then, so please share.
Yeah, so we keep improving and adding new features for 1World, like assisting every week, and sometimes minor ones on a daily basis. So as the next improvements, we'll simplify our feed page to make it more concise, more simple for the new users to land, and That should improve even further our engagement rate on the feed itself, so they are not going to be lost and be focused on the or main functionalities such as polls at the moment. I would say it's something simple. This is something similar to what Instagram has done at some point when it just focused on its main functionality rather than giving too much options for the early users. So we are going to the same direction and improving our user experience there. We have some great improvements on poll side. We have new products rolling out. First one is Poll as an Ad. It's an interactive ad where depending on what people click to respond on the question asked, they get redirected to the third-party website with an article which is tightly correspond to the question and the person's response. And of course, they'll see the results as usual, like an all 1World product directly after they respond, but on our partner's website. This should increase significantly our conversion rates and bring much higher CPCs and satisfies both our partnering resources in terms of attracting their bigger audience, and it gives a huge potential for sponsored articles from ICO companies, which we are starting our direct deals partnerships going on. Also, we have, as a second poll product, we have hyper-targeting. We call it hyper-targeting or hyper-target ads. This kind of ads shown in direct response to what person is responding on the polls. So as you know, Facebook is so famous for its high conversions because it collects so much data about users, but there is a lot of outdated data there, and especially in the cryptocurrency world, when things change very fast, and so do the preferences of people, Facebook is lagging behind. And especially with the news that Facebook will not show ICO ads at this point, this brings even more opportunities for 1World and its new polls and advertisement tools to get into the market with direct deals from ICOs going on. So hyper-targeted ads is a pretty much or regular poll, but right after you or user responded to a question, they get the ad under the poll or within the poll, which is exactly correlated to the question. For example, where do you think is the next big thing in blockchain? Gaming industry, artificial intelligence, healthcare. For example, a person clicks, for example, gaming, they'll see an ad of one of our partners, Play to Live. And this actually this interactivity significantly improves conversion rates for the ad. As our further improvement, we are working on the partner admin functionalities, making sure that they have better dashboard experience, and they can manage their ads more easily as long as and integrate our widgets as well. And the main focus we had there that is making sure that they're able to see all the latest stats and make it more transparent than it used to be. Well, and we have a big partnerships going on regarding ICO advertisement campaigns, where we hope to launch or new polls and get direct deals flowing, and active use of 1World token in promoting ICOs V4 tools. And this should significantly increase demand for 1World tokens and support our economy. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, and one thing I want to emphasize, some of you know probably that Facebook stopped advertising ICO, cryptocurrency, anything related to this crypto blockchain world, which opens a huge opportunity for other companies that do promote new technologies and ICOs. And so huge budgets are now going to other places. And 1World, of course, want to be part of this market. We already advertised some ICOs successfully, and we're building a huge pipeline of more, US and globally. So this fact that Facebook are out of the market is very good news, and we definitely want to take advantage of this. Next big update is about exchanges. That's another area where Dan worked really hard for the last few weeks, and let me hand it again to him for update on exchanges.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, before we jump into our exciting news updates regarding upcoming exchanges and existing progress, I would need to focus your attention on disclaimer that pretty much states that from the beginning of 1World ICO, we clearly stated that the functional benefit of 1World token, and it was promoted only as a use case in the advertisement space. So 1World Online has never advertised or positioned 1World tokens as a speculative instrument or any gainful or profitable solution for trading on exchanges. So we've been always saying that 1World is like 1World token focus is not to be traded on cryptocurrencies exchange only, but it's actually the tool to create the new economy, enlarge your ecosystem, and make things more engaging and efficient for all partners involved. So exchanging, trading are supplemented to our core business to grow demand and clientele of 1World platform, and not the sole focus. Yes, so as regarding the exchanges, we have great news coming up in this space. So first of all, we are totally in line with all the regulations that like the current regulations which were as internationally in the United States in the market. So we obtain official legal opinion confirming that 1World is a utility token. It's not a security, so it's official. We are excited that we get this confirmed, and now it's clear to all the exchanges and hopefully for the regulators as well. 1World token. So this actually helps us to focus on long-term goals and not be worried on the changes on the, I would say, in legislation in this space, and build long-term value for all of our partners. 1World token passed all tech tests and received smart contract audit, and this allows us again to be comfortable in getting out there and start working with exchanges and spread both the use on 1World token and distribution more actively, and support our ecosystem in this way. So on February, as we promised, we are having at least one exchange coming up. So we are in the communication with Yobit, which is a pretty big exchange in Europe with over 1 million daily trade, $1 million of daily volume. We believe that as one of the first exchanges, it is very good news for 1World to be there, and we excited that it's going to happen approximately next week. I would say about 5 business days, we should have it. We're also in touch with Cryptos, which is also pretty big exchange in Asia, in Europe. It's to be confirmed, but if we accept our listing there, it should be, maybe it will be even sooner than UBIT. So it's about the same time. As our big announcement, as we're rolling out on the exchanges, one of the big announcements we have is getting listed on Bitsy. So Bitsy gave 1World token an A-level token rating, and we're very excited. And they're actually, I would say, yeah, they're very excited and looking for listing there, but we have to get through the official campaign, voting campaign on their platform, which is their rule to get listed there. For that, we need to obtain 1 million votes, which I'm sure it won't be too hard to get here for all the support from our community. And as for now, you may follow the link here. It's, of course, we'll send it also officially later to all the token holders, the instructions, how you could support us, get free vote tokens to vote for 1World. And for doing that, you will get even more 1World tokens supporting us on this campaign. So we plan to allocate 25,000 tokens for this voting campaign and distribute it within people who support us on this. And as right after, it takes only 1 week for the campaign to finish, and after we successfully finish the campaign, we should get listed on Bitsy pretty soon. Mm-hmm. Yes, so we're, as Alex said, we are constant conversations with exchanges, and we're having our planned rollout and slowly starting increasing or availability and I'm sure that you'll see more exchanges to come after this ones.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dan. That's amazing progress. So having 3 very well recognized exchanges already willing to either move forward with us, no conditions, or just final procedural things. That's great progress, of course. In 1 month, we got from just either Delta to 3 more pretty significant exchanges. And we have, of course, conversations going on with a few others. Pretty much all the big names you can imagine. We're talking to all of them. It's a matter of quality versus match versus price versus process. But let's get these 2 going, Yobit and Bitsy, maybe Cryptos. And after that, we can expand further. Of course, yeah, our main goal remains building an economy, because with a good economy, good launches, increasing our demand, that will be the right steps, not just getting listed, but growing the economy in parallel. And next section is about Q&A. Again, I remind everybody to submit your questions into Q&A tab. And Leonard, please walk us through what's important for the community and our support, discussions, and chats.
Hello, community. I hope everyone's well today. My name is Leonard Jackson. I'm the support manager here at 1World. I had a few pertinent topics to address that have arisen in the community as of late. First off, I want everybody to be careful. We have some guys in the chat attempting to impersonate support agents and core team members that will attempt to solicit you to sell tokens. Always remember, we will never approach you privately. If anything is concerning tokens and sales, for transparency's sake, we will always direct you to a primary source of liquidity that is public. So if you get any solicitation like this, automatically view it with suspicion. Please be vigilant, be diligent about this. Don't hesitate to contact us if you have any doubts, and use the official channels to ensure that you don't compound the issue. All right, moving on to the next topic. regarding the withdrawal errors. A few weeks ago, we had a bug that affected a small number of users. Typically, users were describing when they would attempt to withdraw tokens from the platform, the tokens would not arrive at the external wallet. That bug has been identified and solved thanks to the engineering team. They're right on top of that. And all users affected by this at this point should be compensated. If you have been affected by this bug and you haven't been compensated, by all means, contact us as soon as possible. And you can either do that via PM, our support email, or any of our channels or we chat. We'll make sure to get you sorted as soon as we can. All right. And our last topic, our VIP discussion group. We're in the process of inviting select users from the community to our VIP chat. This chat should provide a direct line of communication with our partners, so you can get an inside look at what we're working on here as we build our token economy and refine our product. We'll be releasing more formal details about this in the next few days. In the meantime, if you're one of the select members that makes the cut for this, essentially we're looking for people that have really contributed to the community, our assets. Be on the lookout for an invitation via PM or via mail shortly. I can't wait to see you guys there, and I'm really excited the opportunity to moderate you over there and engage in some lively discussion. And that's it for me, Alex. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Leonard. Yeah, the VIP discussion group was probably influenced by our community members. Quite a few people approached us either in public groups or private messages and asked us how they can help to grow 1World business, which I really appreciate this line of thinking, because obviously if people own our tokens, they want our economy to grow and benefit from it. So this is definitely what we want to do ASAP, especially now Bailey Blair joining us, and that's one of the things she did really well in her previous job. Not only build big connections and big clients, but also a community of smaller deployments through various programs, and that's what she'll be helping me to do. In the next month or so, please expect this VIP group to grow. We want to offer people in US, India, Europe, and other places of our presence to be incentivized by bringing new business to 1World. There are quite a few different templates of our contract that allow you to join and help us and get incentivized quite significantly. So looking forward for this VIP group and next addition to our business. Some links that you might find useful. So please take a look at this slide, and we email it as well. Anastasia is supporting all these sites, and we have new chats coming in, like news channel and the VIP group, all traditional social media. We expanded to a few others, not only Medium, but also working with the bitcointalk.org and Reddit and others to expand our online presence to in all shapes and forms. So please note all these links, and yeah, watch us on Twitter especially. That's usually where we put all the updates very quickly about events, about our participation, and new clients, new partnerships, and industry news that's relevant to us. Next slide, just so you see the schedule for webinars for the rest of the year. We're going to do it last Thursday of the month. So next one will be March 28th, 29th, and continues all along. And with this, let me go to the, let's see if there's any questions that we received. There was one. I'll share the slides. Okay, yeah, Martin already responded to this question, that all the information that we provided, the slides and the video from this webinar and the previous one will be shared. So please watch updates on Twitter or Medium and other channels for exact location. Previous time we used SlideShare, right? Anastasia, that's a place we keep our webinars. Is that correct?
Yes, last webinar was published on SlideShare and also on Medium.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, and that's amazing actually that we got more than 2,000 claps on Medium. So people really paid attention, and it was a very detailed update about our product features and how it works, and the first steps in developing our token economy. Everybody's intrigued about this, so thank you for putting this article together, Anastasia. Let's continue doing it for all major product releases, especially when we have BitClave and this ICO campaigns going. I think it would be great to share some results, how token economy actually works. The other thing I want to say, I really want to recognize our engineering team. which is based in Europe, and we have a few support folks in US that integrated with the Ethereum blockchain. You probably know that this is not an easy thing to do. There is a lot of security levels. If you want to, for example, move tokens from internal account or wallet to your external existing wallet, it requires certain use of APIs in a very careful way and all levels of security. And it was implemented back in January and tested in volume. As you can see, there's a tremendous traffic we received in January. So for good or for bad, a lot of people came, and some of them clicked responsibly and some not very responsibly, but we got the traffic of volume that definitely stressed the system, and it was doing just fine. So we got all these points converted into tokens, then people moving them to Ethereum blockchain. And the beauty of blockchain is everything is public. You can go online to tools like Etherscan or others and see all the transactions. Of course, you don't know the people behind the wallets, but you can see transactions. And it's very good proof that technology works, and the token economy of 1World is alive. So that was one of our big accomplishments. So with this, folks on the chat, we have still about 14 minutes left. If any questions, please raise your hand in this tool. You have ability to raise a hand. And I see some folks that actually really hope you. I see folks from UK, Nick, thank you for joining. From New York, Peter, really glad to see you here. Some people from India, our Japanese investors, people from Eastern Europe, Igor, thank you for joining. So folks, any questions, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. You can ask it. Or maybe you can share something you want to share with the both 1World and our community of token holders and investors. It should be in the menu, right, Leonard, when people can just raise their hand? That's how it works?
Correct. Yes, they should just be able to press the icon.
All right, anyone? It's been a very quick presentation today. As you can see, we have very precise updates, and anything else you would like to know. So I'll give you a few minutes, and meanwhile, I'll just talk about general update in our market, blockchain and crypto and so on. You can see there's multiple things happening. We just talked about regulations and how different governments treat cryptocurrency, crypto to fiat or crypto to crypto transactions. Definitely a lot of discussions going on. So no doubt, cryptocurrency will be regulated. The level of regulation depends, of course, on the country and their view of what it is. And specifically in the US, I want to share with you, some of you know that we're still using 2014 guidelines for taxation, that cryptocurrency is considered property, or any virtual asset is considered property. There are some additional supplemental docs and released in July 2017 for mostly CPAs, how to do accounting of cryptocurrencies. And they quickly become obsoleted, of course, because the market is so dynamic. There's so many things going on that actually there's definitely a need to create a new asset class. And if you're interested, please check on some podcasts or some meetups that happened in San Francisco and Silicon Valley recently. In particular, there's a lady from KPMG who was leading this effort, talk about taxation in crypto space. There's some other folks that, like with the CPA and financial and legal backgrounds, participated. Very, very interesting. And I believe we are sharing all of this interesting pieces of data in our social media. So you can check out Twitter, Medium, both company and my personal, because we usually share everything that's relevant. And what's happening in the US, we cover very well. You probably know about the hearings that happened a couple of weeks ago in the US Congress. We talked about cryptocurrency. It's very clear that they're going to be supportive of innovation, including ICOs, which is very good news for us, that ICO is considered to be a good thing for the country and for business, for entrepreneurs, and for just bringing value and new jobs and new money. Now, in terms of how exactly it's going to be regulated, we expect, of course, new legislation this year. And we'll be a part of expert community to influence it in a good way. Now, the positive thing about cryptocurrency, we recognize a lot of this revenue in 2017, and we'll share with you a financial update next time when we meet in March. But 1World is essentially a break-even company now, and we have very solid foundation to go forward and continue grow our business, especially with this ICO deals coming as a direct type of revenue. So as you know, programmatic advertising is our foundation. It's always linked to our widgets for customers that want to use it. But direct deals, especially with ICO budgets, are very, very interesting. That's where you can see amazing things coming. All right, so next question. What could you suggest to read about cryptocurrency for dummies that rather simple and clear to understand the market and how it works? That's actually a great question, folks. The way I do it, I usually share my, I have an email template with a bunch of nice links, which include some video recordings from visionaries like Naval Ravikant or Fred Wilson and Don Tapscott, and also some articles like explaining the token economy and cryptocurrencies. It's actually a very good question. I know that for many people it's still confusing or not clear about the foundation of cryptocurrencies and how it works. So how about this? I can actually pass this email template to Anastasia with some interesting links that I accumulated for over a year now being in the crypto space. And we can package maybe it a little bit nicer and then share with the community, kind of crypto for dummies. Read this in this order, right? Watch a couple of videos, then read this article, and then if you want to go deeper, here's more information. We can do something like this, maybe a newsletter or even a page in our Medium. What do you think, Anastasia? Can we package this together? It's kind of one-on-one of cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Yeah, sure, Alex. It's a great idea to, to advocate people about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we can definitely do that in all our media channels.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good, thank you. Yeah, one interesting thing, by the way, we just heard this week. It turned out that only 6 companies in the US raised more than 10 million in ICO, and we are one of them. So that's remarkable. So we kind of considered ourselves not the most advanced company in blockchain. We just adopted it for media space. But it turned out now we are kind of one of the leads, and of course that's important. So we want to not only develop our story, but help the industry in general by sharing information and helping all the folks that are involved and or about to be involved to understand what is going on and what it is. Especially people, so people don't confuse, for example, Bitcoin as one of examples and cryptocurrency in general, and also understand clearly that what is token and why it's different from just being a cryptocurrency, especially utility tokens, which I believe is huge. This is exactly where the world is going, and we're talking to many other ICOs, and we see a lot of bright people doing very remarkable innovation in the space, and each layer deserves its own explanation. What is blockchain and how to use it? That's the first step. What is cryptocurrency and how to use it? Why Bitcoin is different from everything else, and how other altcoins are doing, and what's the potential use of them. And then, of course, tokens and token economy is coming on top of it, because it's not just about exchanges and trading, as Dan explained. Exchanges and listings are just supplemental to our core business, where we build in a great economy with the ever-growing demand, but limited supply, as you know. We only have 37 million tokens. It's never going to change. So we're not going to have inflation. Like, we're not going to print more money, like some governments do, of course. And that creates amazing opportunity to build a healthy economy, which is decentralized, brings benefits to all participants. And we want you to be part of it. And yes, so this information is definitely would be helpful. All right, we got the next question about personal data protection that has been regulated hardly. How the matter is addressed in 1World economy? Yeah, thank you for the question. I know the security concerns and first-person concerns are very important. So let me go step by step. During the ICO, we got about 700 people participated, and they registered, of course, in 1World ICO system. And we moved all of the accounts to our system, and it was done in a very secure way. So, for example, no passwords were transferred over the wire, and everybody was required to reset them. So the only username and there's no password. And they created new passwords, and now they participate in the economy. And all participants of 1World are not visible to anybody, because when you log into your account, you can see your personal dashboard, and you can do transactions, you can earn tokens and spend tokens. but there's no anything that can be visible from outside. It just when the tokens are going out, the only thing that exists for outside world is the address of the wallet and the transactions, like any other blockchain. So from this point of view, we are very much the same as everybody in the industry. It's very secure internal account management and anonymous external view of transactions. Okay, that's the first part. Now, in terms of personal data, we actually just talked to a research company. You know, we have quite a few partners like Forrester, Cint, and Zapi. That's a European company we just met yesterday in San Francisco. They're very, very excited about 1World because they also believe in the research to be online, contextual, organic, not traditional surveys. And they have amazing traction, actually. They have a lot of brands that started using their solution. And we talked about this very topic about where the private data will be kept and how to make sure that we compliant with the government requirements. So to keep long story short, we're probably going to follow the same best practices that current research companies are using because they're a very mature industry and they know exactly how to do it and how to be compliant with various governments. Like in particular in Germany, Russia, and other European countries, there's a very hard requirement to not keep personal information of people outside of the country. And so we'll work with the research companies on this very topic, because usually what they do, they build a local instance or local replica of the server and keep this private information inside of the country. Like Cint is doing this, and I'm sure other research companies do it. And it's a well-known practice, and we can do the same thing because you probably know we have a white label solution. We have already a few customers in the US, and we're going to build a couple of more in Asia and Europe that essentially will be another instance of 1World server inside of the country with the data that is not transferred across the border. So we have this already as a part of our solution. So we have hosted version and we have white label version. So I hope it will address it. So PII is not going to be moved outside of the country. And by the way, one other last thing to mention about security. People in 1World network are not forced to register, and there's no need for them actually to register in order to vote, right? They can do it anonymously. In this case, we create what we call synthetic ID. So there's a number, and there's a history of voting and behavior on the sites, but there's no PII. There's no personal information whatsoever. It's only when people decide to convert and create an account with either email or Facebook or Google+, then they create it, and it becomes essentially a blockchain ID, which is well protected, as we discussed earlier. So we're really paying attention to all the regulations and best practices. And in cases when we build application where personal information is needed, it usually goes through the partnership which already have this protection in place. So we don't expose this data, we don't sell it to anybody, and it was never our intention. But we rather, the value of 1World, as you all know, is increase engagement and keep people motivated and incentivized and grow revenue for publishers. The fact that we have all this data collected, it helps to provide them better content and better advertising. That's our key business model. 1World is not a data sell business and is not really abusing people's data. Like sometimes we hear concerns about what Facebook and Google are doing. We don't do any of that. We're not selling it to research companies. We don't sell it to anybody, right? We optimize content and advertising based on this data. That's it. Okay, sorry for the long answer, but it's very important, and I understand where you're coming from. Any other questions, folks? Let's see. We have to answer. Yeah, I believe you just answered this one. Please raise your hand if anything else you would like to ask. Nick, would you like to say something? Since it's really late in UK and you attended the whole session, or wave your hand or something, Nick? No? Okay. Maybe you don't see this option to raise the hand, or let me make sure you're not muted. Just 1 second. Just for the other people that don't know all of our advisors, Nick Hencher is based in UK. He's one of our top advisors in Europe. He used to be a head of product management for Reuters. And we have a dialogue now that Nick running his own company about partnership, which has really value his inputs and influence on 1World is tremendous. So, Nick, can you hear me? Can I say something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, here we go. Yes, we hear you now. Yeah, thank you for joining today. I didn't expect you that late, but thank you anyways.
It was a better time than the European one.
Right. Okay.
No, this is good. No, thanks very much. The deck you put together was really informative, so that's good, and it sounds like you're making some really good progress.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And of course, yeah, if you have any now new projects or new ideas, well, by the way, let me mention one thing for the folks on the call. Nick is very, very into predictive analytics. And so not only just about increasing engagement, but also use these tools to get public opinion about things happening today, but also have prediction for the future, or check how things in the past actually were turned out today, right? If predictions were correct or not. And that's a whole nother big area that I think will be the future of 1World. Not just a snapshot of public opinion today, but predictive analytics and all use cases around it, which I consider Nick is one of the best partners we have in the ecosystem who's working on that. Is that correct? Is that still your interest?
Sorry?
Is that still your interest?
Yeah, very much so. No, we're still cracking on with that and doing a lot of work. I'm going to ask you a question, put you on the spot. Google AMP, are you looking at, are the widgets AMP sort of compliant? Or have you looked at making them AMP compliant?
What is AMP? Is it like AMP?
Yeah.
And could you please decode it? I can't remember what
it's accelerated mobile pages.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right, so that's one of the things that Dan is working with Yana and some other strategic advisors on EdTech side. Because, yeah, Google introduced a few policy changes recently, all this, inserts, some additional tagging. So they actively looking into this, so to be fully compliant on desktop and mobile and have certain metadata. I believe we are already compliant, but there is some dynamics going on there that we want actually to submit our proposal to IAB and turn 1World interactive tool as a new standard. And especially for a couple of sizes, like double size 200 by 350, to make it 300 by 250, to make it a new standard when they have two pieces together, one is engagement and other is advertising. And I know Google is doing a lot of things about the like advertising compliance and some new formats and especially rich media. So we're very much on top of it. Yeah, but maybe I'll ask Yana to join us next time and update about the ed tech and advertising strategy.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. Thank you, Nick. All right, folks, we just hit top of the hour. It's 11 a.m. in California, and thank you very much for joining this webinar, and appreciate your support of 1World. Really happy to see folks from different parts of the world. We're very diversified global company, will continue to be as such. I didn't mention we had a great meeting in the Times Group of India just 2 days ago. And but probably we'll update you next time about some other exciting things going on. They want to create a blockchain, crypto-focused TV, internet TV, and 1World will be playing a major role in delivering all this news about our progress to other countries. And India, they already have partnership with Canada. We just announced yesterday, and of course we want to be part of it. It's a huge market. We want to be there. Absolutely. Helena, thank you very much for your words of appreciation. Thank you for joining. That's another partner of 1World that we worked on a couple of opportunities together, including one very nice new ICO. And thank you for joining. Thank you for your feedback. And talk to you in March, folks. Looking forward for more great things to share. Thanks for joining again, and have a good day.